Hello guys, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're taking a look at Transformers Age of Extinction Voyager class Autobot Drift, or Helicopter Drift as some people like to call him. Now, this figure is just a repaint of Steamhammer. It's not even the correct helicopter. You can definitely tell by the tail section, but I've got to admit, I actually really do like this toy. Maybe it's because of the Steamhammer figure, or is it Steamhammer? It's not Steamhammer, it's, I think, I can't remember what it's called, but, the gray helicopter for Dark of the Moon, pretty much. I'll just call him that. I know a bunch of people are going to correct me. I'll write it down in the description if I need to. But basically, he is a repaint of a Dark of the Moon helicopter. And I gotta say that this is pretty cool. I like the light blue. I actually like the light blue on this more than the, deluxe version. Actually, I'm kind of torn between the two, but I really do like this. This is more of the Allspark blue color scheme, so that's pretty good. You also have these giant blades that can plug onto the side here. There's tabs, and there's the little hole right there. And what you can also do with the swords is you can connect them like so, if you want, although it's kind of tricky. You can plug them in like that, or you can plug them in like that if you want. So, there you go. Anyways, for the helicopter mode, I think that this looks pretty cool. I like the propellers. They actually go for a pretty long time, so that's pretty good. I love... what am I saying? I love the dark blue. I think the gold looks fine. He's got a couple of Autobot logos right here. Actually, just the one Autobot logo. And he's got some landing gear that can fold in if you want that. You also have a couple of weapons that can plug into here, or into here if you want. But I usually leave them right here. In fact, I believe, is that another hole? So you can plug weapons into that? Unfortunately, no, that's just for detail, although that's a lost opportunity. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of weapon storage for this guy. And I do like the helicopter look. I like the little engine turbine things on the front here. The propellers are pretty cool, and he's a very good size. Let's bring out the other drifts. I got the one-step drift, which looks pretty good. And then I also have the deluxe class drift, which makes it feel more into scale, although the helicopter is still pretty big. It feels more like I can see this coming from that. So, that's pretty good. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and transform this guy. He's also got the weapon clip stuff on the top here, so you can have that. Anyways, let's bring up the camera, and let's transform the Voyager Drift. First, what you want to do, and I believe this is also the first time we've had a Voyager Drift, is bring these little wing sections down. Next, what you want to do is bring this and pop that out and lift this up, which I believe was not in the instructions. Next, what you want to do is separate this whole entire section like so, and straighten out the legs, rotate this section like so, bring up this section like that, and that will pop out this little gold bit. Just pull that down all the way just to make sure that that is out. Bring out the heel, flip up the foot, and rotate that around like so. Do the same thing to the other side. Straighten it out, rotate this down, flip this up, and that doesn't really push it in all the way because it doesn't actually have that tab, but you can pull that out like so. Bring out the foot, bring out the heel, and that will click into place. Bring that down, and unlike this, unlike this leg, this one has a little wing that you fold back, but it does have a little bit of detail right there, so I guess that's supposed to look like this, even though the giant wing doesn't really look right. But there, that's the legs. What am I saying? What is wrong with me? You can also take the landing gear and fold that out, but I like to fold that in. I just think that looks better. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and transform the top section of the robot. So, with that out of the way, let's bring these down and rotate that down just to get that out of the way. Bring these sections out and rotate these from this joint right in here, and that will form the arms. Next, what you want to do is take these sections, bring them out, and separate this entire bit like so. Next, take the chest and rotate it like so, which I guess kind of has that Bugatti-shaped thing, whatever you want to call it. And flip down these panels. I know I'm not really showing that well on the camera, but I'm kind of concentrating on transformation too. Bring these down like so. And what you want to do is, there's a couple of pegs right here that will go into these little holes. And as you do that, you want to bring these down like so. And plug them into place. And rotate them enough to where they get out of the way. And then the wings will plug onto the top here. So I guess that's what the hole was for. And you plug that in like so, and you want to try to get that to plug in as far as you can, because the propellers will connect onto little tabs, or little holes right in here, and that won't really work if that's not connected in all the way. Next, take the propellers and get that to lock into place. If it's not locking into place, then you gotta rotate it, and then it will lock, I believe. Yep, there's a couple of pegs that will lock into place, like so. And then bring the propellers back, and that will connect in like so. Now, what I usually do, because I can't really get the backpack to plug into place, is I just plug in the top ones like so, or the bottom ones, and then I just leave the other ones just dangling down like so. Next, take the arms, bring them down, and you're going to want to take the fist out and rotate this back on a double hinge like so. Do the same thing to the other side. I know I'm going a little too far back for this. Again, trying to concentrate on two things right now. And there you have Drift in his robot mode. And I think Drift looks somewhat cool. But I do have my problems with it, I will be honest. Although I will say it is pretty good looking. I will say, though, he's got a spindly shape, and that's because this wasn't really made for Drift. It was made for... Oh, Skyhammer! That's what the name was. It was made for Skyhammer, so it's not going to look accurate at all. But I think for what it's worth, this is still a pretty good-looking toy. It's just the hips are a little too loose for me, and also because this doesn't really go in too well. It just, you do something and that can snap out. And on this side, that will also pop off the back section of the leg. So that's just something to watch out for. If I'm playing around with that, that usually happens. But for the rest of the toy, I think it's pretty good. Now you can take these weapons and you can plug them into the hands like so. What you can also do is rotate one of the swords and combine them like so, as I showed you. Or you can take the swords and plug them in this way, like so. Although that doesn't really want to stay into place. It does have little gap sections right on the top here and here that will it won't lock into those tabs, but it will give room for those tabs. So you can have that if you want. But what I usually do is I have the separate swords because they are giant swords and they look awesome. There's no real purpose in combining them except to make them look like scissors. But that looks pretty good. I'm not sure if you can plug them onto the back, but if you could, well, I guess you could. Now, you can also take these little gun bits and you can attach them to the arms. I don't think it was packaged like that. I think these were attached on the back wings, but you can attach them to the arms like so. However, he's already got these little sections right here that look like guns to me, so I don't usually have that on. And also, Drift in the movie had something like this for the back of him. Considering there's not a huge amount of this toy that's accurate to his on-screen version, I leave those on the back just for this, because that actually looks closer to what he looks like in the movie, so I do like that. The articulation is pretty good. He's got a lot of articulation. He's got ball joint in the head. He's got a couple of joints in the shoulder so that you can bring them out in different ways. Elbow, rotation, wrist also moves, so that's good. He's got a waist, so that's good. Leg, out and in. Knee. He's got a rotation here, I guess, and then the foot moves as well, so that's pretty good. And his head is very good. I'm just going to zoom into that because I think that is the best looking head we've gotten for a Drift toy. It's got blue, it's got gold, it's got the dark blue, and the molding itself is clean. Not like the deluxe one, this one is very clean, so I do like that. And for a comparison, let's bring out the deluxe class version of Drift. So we got that. And I like the deluxe class Drift because I like the Bugatti, and I like the scale of this. You know, I put him next to Crosshairs, and he looks fine. But I think this is pretty fun for a toy. I really do like that. And just as an extra bonus, here is the one-step Drift, like so. I wish I brought out my Age of Extinction Drift so that I can compare it to that, as well as my Generations Drift. But with that out of the way, I think that if you are looking for a pretty cool Drift, this guy is very awesome. He's probably going to be a little bit more expensive than the deluxe class version, but I will say he's a lot of fun. I do like him. So with that out of the way, I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun dudes, and I'll see you guys next time.